Hey y'all, I got another video today about the truck. Last weekend we was going to the opposite end of the county. I live on one end, work on the other. We was running around picking up a few things, and I said, well, I need to go by the garage where I work, pick up a couple things I left in the service truck. So we swung in, pulled in behind the service truck. I loaded my stuff. By the time I got back in the truck, Cindy said, there's steam coming out from under the hood. I looked, it was pouring out on the passenger side. Immediately looked down my gauges. All the gauges was good. I said, well, it ain't no major leak. I said, water temperature's still good. Pressure is apparently still up because the temperature gauge is right. So I'm gonna get out and look. I popped the hood, got out, came over this side, and there was steam all in here. Couldn't see for it. I got to pushing and pulling on these lines, trying to figure out which one it was. And that one right there blowed off in my hand. It's a good thing the camera went on, because that was a very exciting moment. Getting a handful of hot water, but the engine was still running, so it was still pumping. I immediately went around, screwed the lid loose on the coolant reservoir and cut it off. Now that I told this story, this is what the actual video is about. This line here broke completely off, which it was a T, like it is now. It had rubber pieces instead of clamps. It's a pre-made line like these. See these rubber pieces here? There's a plastic piece, and these rubber, it holds it on there. It actually crimps it. I looked at that for a minute, and I thought, I'm 14 miles from the house. If I was at the house, I could probably fix it pretty easy. And I thought, wait a minute, I'm sitting behind my service truck. I said, there's a plastic T in my service truck. Just the right size. We don't normally run that small fittings on. I work on school buses. They run bigger hoses, bigger fittings. I had bought one for some reason, put in the toolbox. Thank goodness. Thank you, Lord. I was at my workplace and I had my tools and all the parts and pieces. I went to the toolbox and that plastic T was in the box, like I thought. Of course, we had the clamps. Had a box full of hose clamps of different sizes. I found 3 that would work there. They're pretty good size. They're made for a 1-inch line. Most of their buses run 1-inch lines. But I had the stuff put it back together. What I was going to tell you about these fittings, these pre-made lines, these rubber pieces are rubber, hard rubber, almost plastic. You can see this one's got a hole right here. And get it turned right. If you take a pair of cutters, like a pair of electrical cutters, where the cutter's on the end, you can snip that on both sides of that hole, and that rubber piece will peel off. You just got rid of the hard rubber, almost plastic clamp. And this one here's got a hole too. That's what I did with these. I clipped it across them holes, twisted that rubber piece off. The T was right and the reason it broke. I took my pocket knife real easy, went around the holes and broke it loose, and it would crush if you get at one place or another, because it was just rotten plastic. I broke them loose, crushed them, got them out of the hoses. Of course, this one here being downhill, I had to be very careful and not let it fall in there. That T went right in, hose clamps sealed it back up, and I've been running it for about a week. Normally you could go to auto parts and get that T, but we live in a rural area and nothing was open on Saturday afternoon. Everything done closed. Unless you caught a ride with somebody went out of town, you wasn't going to get one. You had to go over to the next county to get auto parts. So I came home and I immediately looked it up on the internet, and the best place I found was Amazon. Amazon sells the doorman help items, I guess you'd say, because all of them's in the help section. You go to most auto parts, they have help sections. I went ahead and ordered some. Same thing I'd get from auto parts. I know how auto parts is right now. I'm in and out of them several times a week. It's hard to get things. Amazon had them. I had them by Tuesday. I went to the auto parts on Monday for my job. I thought, well, I'll go ahead and look them up and make sure they've got them so I can get one put back in my truck, because I owe the service truck one. They wasn't a single T or connector on the help section that would fit this thing. Everything was oddballs. All of it was gone. So if you can't find it at the auto parts, you can still get some things online that you can't get in a normal store. I don't understand why you can get it on Amazon easier than you can at auto parts, but I just thought I'd give that little bit of information. There is still things available. You just got to know where to look. Y'all have a good week.